I always was a little insecure, and I felt like I had sort of a hole inside of me, and I didn't know how to fill it, basically. A couple years ago, I kind of came out public in the media when I was in Nashville. Um, I, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I just celebrated 6 years of sobriety. And thank you. What got me into playing hockey was basically growing up in Canada. It's almost like a mandatory thing. I grew up right in the inner city in Toronto, so I think some people have this, idea that everyone plays on frozen ponds, but in downtown Toronto, we don't have ponds. They freeze over basketball courts and baseball diamonds. My parents noticed that I had a desire to play, and they basically gave me every opportunity to succeed. And it wasn't until I was later in my teens where I basically started to take it more serious and looked at it in a different way where, growing up as a little kid, you kind of think it's an impossible thing to do. And then as I got into my teens, I started to approach it more as like, hey, I can do this. And, they never pushed me, but they also, whatever I did in life, our parents demanded. My brothers and I worked hard at it. I got drafted to the Ontario Hockey League when I just turned 16. So getting drafted at a young age it was interesting, being 16 years old and playing on a hockey team with 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Coming into professional hockey as a young player and a rookie, it's funny. You think you actually have a handle on how to play and how to prepare and how to approach the game. Growing up in Canada, I mean, the drinking age is 19, so pretty much everyone was going to the bars at that time, and it was an experience. You're forced to kind of grow up a little bit quicker than most people. I think there's that culture of, you play together as a team and work hard, and you party together as a team and work hard, and I was no different. At the age of 16, that's when I started to, really kind of, drink alcohol and go to bars with the older guys, and it was looking back, it was pretty crazy. Basically, I was around 22 years old. I had a bunch of people, my immediate family and friends kind of intervene and sort of, express how they felt and the damage that I was doing in my own life. And I ended up, going to a treatment center for about a week and then left. I basically checked myself out and just refused all the help. I wasn't ready. And then about a year later, after my hockey season, is when I'd basically given up, and I kind of came to terms with everything that was going on and decided I wanted to get help for myself. And I can't. It was a little bit hazy. I can't really remember the night that I did it. I can remember I was in like a hospital for detoxing, and I can remember I left the detox early as well. And went home. I kind of, I do things my own way, and my recovery was no different. I'm not going to say I was an angel, I went through it, on my own terms, and it was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, knowing that, I was going to get help, and I didn't know what was going to happen in my life, whether I'd go back to playing hockey or potentially go back to school, but I just knew that I needed to fix this part if I was gonna, continue to move forward and have a happy life. Certain moments that were painful in recovery, I think just looking in the mirror and taking a look at, some of, my past and my history, and trying to identify, what my role was in sort of the, the choices that I've made. And I think just becoming an adult and owning up and taking responsibility for my actions was tough. In my experience, I always wanted to blame others and, not accept responsibility. I think that was the toughest part. There's a lot of growing pains in that, but, I got through it, and and I've definitely learned a lot about myself. My goals for this upcoming season, I'm going into camp with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I have a good opportunity to, hopefully play for their team at some point. If it's not right out of the gate, at some point during the season, I just think that they'll need a player like me, and my immediate goals are to go into camp and to earn a spot on the team.
And here we go, Rich Clune, who's a fighter against Zach Bernard.